Hello. Welcome to this full moon in Aries forecast for your sun and rising signs. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Of course, my name is Sarah Waggle. I am an astrologer, energy worker, leadership coach, and I bring all of those tools to presenting content here on YouTube, Instagram, and other social platforms. I also work individually with people as they are learning their astrology and understanding it. So in this video, we will talk about the Aries full moon as well as a few transits around this full moon in Aries. It's going to be an exciting one. Of course, it wouldn't be Aries if it weren't exciting, right? Add a little Uranus to the mix. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that you get what you need to get from these forecasts. All right, just a few housekeeping announcements before we dive into the presentation. Of course, you can find my social links below. Sarah Waggle on Instagram. Have not been as active on TikTok. I think it's just because life's been a little chaotic lately and I've been traveling a lot and working through my own stuff. So have not been as active on TikTok, but still Instagram, Sarah Waggle, where I am live every day for the entire year 2023. And of course here on YouTube for the moon astrology tarot videos and these new moon and full moon sun sign videos, sun and rising sign videos. So you can do that. You can book a reading with me. I do written reports, which give you dates, your big three, and all of those sorts of things to reference back to. And so you can book below with me. I'm also thinking about offering a Learn Your Big Three workshop sometime in the next. I was gonna try and do it in October, but it just did not happen. And so I am working through my own stuff and busy life and routines and schedules and things like that. And you can listen to my guest appearance on the Hearts Unleashed podcast with Abigail Gazda, where I talk about breaking up with your victimhood. And yes, I am available for public speaking virtually, of course, and in person, depends on location and whatnot. But I am available for public speaking. I talk about breaking up with your victimhood, self-acceptance, and whatnot, and how to use astrology. Yes, I did use astrology to learn my own self-acceptance. All right, so you can join the Awakening Spirit Collective. This is a group of folks that I am involved with, partnered with, to offer spiritual guidance, support around, everything that we're all kind of going through right now, the ascension, the awakening process, however you choose to define it, even if it's just your own spiritual healing journey, we got you covered. I am going to start offering some more in-depth astrology content there, including understanding patterns in astrology, the nodes in astrology, and things like that. So I'm going to start doing some videos and content there in the Awakening Spirit Collective. So if you are wanting to dive in deeper with astrology, of course, you can always book in one-to-one with me. But also you can join the Awakening Spirit Collective, and all those links are below in the description box. And of course, thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate you. I'm very thankful for the likes, the comments, the shares, all of the things, for you guys tuning in to the work that I am up to. I'm having so much fun just being creative and presenting this content. And is my stuff perfect? No, but that's okay. I'm not perfect. I'm a pretty much color outside the lines person, always have been, probably always will be. It's probably that Aquarius in me. All right, let's move into the forecast. All right, the energetic overview for this full moon in Aries. Unexpected events will continue to play out. Relationships will continue to be of focus. your physical body has a message, has messages for you. Our physical bodies are constantly giving us messages, whether it's through our digestive system or our musculoskeletal, like any of our body systems, but mostly digestive and nervous systems. It's constantly sending us messages. It's constantly giving us guidance and direction, and a lot of times we are not in tune to it or paying attention to, or trying to soothe it, to sort of, not acknowledge that it's a message, but rather just soothe it so we can get on with whatever we're up to in life. Realizations and insights, constantly showing you how powerful you are. Yes. And this goes right along with the next statement on this slide, which is that all of this is happening sort of encouraging, if not forcing us to face our shadows, right? We're really being forced to notice, be aware of, and sort of empower and integrate our wounds, our shadows, our dark demons, and things like that. And so, and it's all in a way of showing you just how powerful you are. And so if you are working with a therapist, working with a support person, a coach, a spiritual guide, whatever, you may already be facing your shadows. You may be looking your demons in the face and, having those, developing those toolkits. I often have said, I talk about doing the 365 days of lives on Instagram, and there's definitely been days when I'm like, I don't even care today. I don't want to show up and do it. And I put myself together and I show up and I do it. But those are me. And every time I do that, it's a self-celebration of like, damn, there has been, there are previous times in my life where I would not have done that. I would have just given up. Like, oh, fuck it. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention. But I care and I am paying attention. But as we go through all of this and we feel like things are very upsetting and very rickety and very rockety, and why this change, why all of this, it's to support you in facing your demons. It's to support you in doing shadow work and working through your darkest. We have to acknowledge that there are dark parts of ourselves, right? You see those people that are love and light. Sorry, I sort of laugh at that because I am definitely not a love and light. I am. I mean, I love loving people and I love loving myself and things like that. But I acknowledge that there are dark parts of myself. And that's what the universe wants us all to see, is that there are dark parts of ourselves and that we don't have to be love and light, peace, love and harmony all the time. In fact, we're better off, more balanced, Libra season, when we can see and acknowledge and be aware of the times when we are out of balance and, having a shadow moment, being triggered by a form of, of life wound or whatever. So that's sort of the energy around this full moon. It's a spicy one. It's a fiery one. Obviously it's Aries, but, so yeah, that's the energetic overview. All right, let's take a look at the transits we are working with. Of course, we're still in the very thick of retrogrades. Pluto, which does go direct on October 10th. Saturn goes direct in early November. Neptune, Chiron, Jupiter, and Uranus currently in retrograde. We, of course, have Venus going to square Uranus one more time on the 29th or 30th. So it's building as this full moon is building, along with to Mercury and Mars that will also aspect or have a conversation with Uranus around this full moon. So this is a lit full moon to have that many, the personal planets, the planets that directly affect our daily life, having conversations with Uranus, the disruptor, around this full moon. And so as we, move through this Libra season, it's all about being authentic, being yourself, and what relationships are supporting that. There's also, rising above the matrix system, if you will. And so as we get close to Pluto going direct, Pluto, by the way, is at the degree of the United States Pluto return for the fourth time, and I think, yeah, this is the last one. This is the last dose of Pluto hitting the Americas Pluto return. And so as Pluto prepares to go direct on the 10th of October, we could definitely see some disrupt, like, I want to say, like, going, like, disconnecting from the system, and people seeing through whatever deception may be present in the matrix system. I'll leave it at that. So definitely a lot of transit supporting your authenticity, supporting you working past the things that are holding you back, like external things. So even internal things like belief systems or your own connection to spirit, universe, your own connection to yourself as a spiritual energetic being can be at play here. So lots of things could be at play as this full moon plays out, as these Uranus transits play out around the 29th and 30th. So those are some of the transits. I, for one, am looking forward to November when Mr. Saturn goes direct, but hey, gotta wait another month, right? Gotta appreciate this moment in time while we have it. So So here we have the chart of this full moon in Aries, and Aries is all about independence, and Libra, its opposition on the same axis, is all about partnerships and balance. And so this full moon, while not at quite an eclipse, it's not within the degrees of an eclipse. Typically an eclipse, it's my understanding, is within 18 degrees of the nodes. This one's just outside of 18 degrees. I think some astrologers are calling it a pseudo eclipse, but I don't know. To me, it's a little far. But either way, this is a full moon in Aries. It's fiery, it's hot, it's independent, and it is combined with, within 24 hours, you see Uranus here at 22 degrees of Taurus, and Uranus is a little disruptor. But it also is, it's ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius loves authenticity, right? Aquarius loves you to be your brightest self. And so within 24 hours of this full moon in Aries, which is all about independence, having what they want, that sort of stuff, we will have Venus, Mercury, and Mars, our three personal planets. Venus is about finances, self-worth, value. It is also the ruler of Taurus. We call that the dispositor. Venus will aspect, and it already is building. You can see in this chart that square is already building. And that's the third square to Uranus. We've experienced those before, as I talked about on a previous slide. And then Mercury, which is all about our mindset, mentality, mental state, and communication, is going to trine Uranus. They're both in earth signs, so they're going to make an aspect in the earth signs area. Mars is a little bit of a different aspect. I'm just going to say it's a minor aspect. I'm not going to try and explain. It's a little more complicated to explain. But I believe it's a quincunx. But either way, it's a noticeable aspect. So you'll have these three personal planets, Venus, Mercury, Mars, that are going to aspect Uranus within 24 hours of this full moon in Aries. I love how I love how planets just work together and it's all for our greatest good. And so it's all about like releasing the thing that is clipping your wings. It's all about noticing What's clipping you? What's holding you back? Is it self-love? Is it self-trust? Is it your mindset? Is it your gratitude or complaining mentality? Is it you being in the wrong relationships with other people and not following your heart? Is it you're in the wrong job? You're in the wrong living situation? All of these things. So as we go into the sun signs or sun and rising signs, think about where in your life are you clipping your own wings. Now, the other thing that I will mention is that some of us are very resistant to our life mission and our life purpose. And so even, I feel like people stay in something because they're comfortable instead of like rising above and getting out of the thing, getting super uncomfortable, but they pursue something that's like way better than the situation that they're currently in, but they're so comfortable in the current situation. It's like can't see the forest for the trees, right? You're so busy staring at the trees that are right in front of you that you don't see that there's like this whole other forest beyond those two trees, right? So it's all about releasing the thing that's clipping your wings, the thing that is keeping you from being your authentic self, and that's keeping you, comfortable, but Uranus doesn't care if you're comfortable. It wants you to be authentic. It wants you to shine your brightest authentic self. So as we move through the energy of this full moon in Aries about independence, it's a fire sign. There could be a lot of, I would say, if not building up to this full moon, certainly shortly thereafter, people will start making some major life decisions. You have to remember, we've all kind of been through a lot in the last few years, and people are had enough. And I think that this is kind of that full moon of like, okay, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm going to do this goddamn thing. And, people don't like it, they can kiss my ass. Kind of, I feel like that's the attitude where a lot of people are is, screw you, I'm done, I'm doing this thing. And all of that. I do encourage, compassion and sensitivity and sensibility and things like that, of course, but I definitely think this is the intensity of this full moon with all of these Uranus conversations happening in the same time frame, that I do think there's a lot of, take this job and shove it type energy. So that's the chart for this full moon in Aries. And as always, I like to give you the preview of the lunation cycle that we are currently in. And so of course, on the 29th, we have the full moon in Aries. On the 6th, we have the third quarter moon square in Cancer. On the 10th, as Pluto is stationing direct, we'll have that balsamic or darkening moon in Virgo. Conjunct Venus. Oh, I even wrote that in there. So yeah, that I think it's within a degree or two. And then on the 14th, the new moon, solar eclipse in Libra. And then I skipped ahead to the 28th, where we will have the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And so we have some dynamic energy with the lunation cycle as it's moving through, because of course the nodes are currently in Aries Libra. So ideally the eclipses would be in Aries Libra. But we actually have this sort of punctuation mark on the Taurus Scorpio nodes previous nodal cycle at the end of October. So it's kind of like this Taurus lunar eclipse is going to kind of put the exclamation point on the end, or perhaps it's a closing parenthesis, perhaps it's a closing period, but the closing remarks on the Taurus Scorpio nodal points as they were. And so that's the lunation cycle that we're working with currently. And as we move into, an eclipse season in Libra, Scorpio, Libra, Scorpio, goodness. I got Scorpio on the brain. Libra, Aries, definitely this axis of independence, interdependence, partnerships, balance, justice, breaking free, freedom. Who are you or what are you in relationship with? Those sorts of things. And then we're going to have this sort of reminder with this, like I said, punctuation mark at the end of the this eclipse season of, the closing remarks on that Taurus Scorpio axis, which did complete on July 17th when the nodes shifted from Taurus Scorpio into Aries Libra. So so a little bit of wrap up work, a little bit of cleanup work, housekeeping work, and then move on to planets moving direct after that Taurus eclipse. So yay. Moving into the sun and rising sign forecasts for this full moon in Aries. So, of course, skip forward accordingly. If you know your rising sign, go there first. If you do not know your rising sign, A, book an appointment with me, but two, you can go to your sun sign first and check that out. But we'll start with Aries, of course, and move straight through the zodiac. So Aries, this is your forecast for the Aries full moon on September 29th. And so let's get into it. All right, Aries, this full moon is obviously in your first house. It's in your sign. And first house is all about how you show up to the world. It has Aries themes to it. So this could be some fiery, juicy time for some Aries people. It could be, there could be some release around how you show up in the world, and that you just kind of jump in and decide to be a badass all of a sudden. And then you've maybe been holding that back a little bit, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, and it's, maybe it could be around your appearance, it could be around your attitude in the world. Hopefully it's heart-centered, good attitude, but maybe not. Maybe it's a fiery, feisty one that's been dying to break free or break out or show itself to the world. So as you move through this full moon, maybe there's a release around like your self-consciousness, around who you truly want to be and how you truly want to show up in the world. And that is what that first house is about. And so definitely there could be some disruption there, of course, with all these Uranus transits involved. And so as you move through this full moon, see what comes through. But like I said, the release could be just around your own self-consciousness, around showing up as your Aries fiery self. So that's your forecast for Aries for the full moon in Aries. Taurus, this is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. This is for Taurus, Sun, and Rising. All right, Taurus, this full moon in Aries is happening in your 12th house, which is karmic cycles, self-sabotage. It could be around endings. Something is ending for you. A cycle is being broken for you. Something's being disrupted for you around perhaps your destiny, what you're up to in the world, your routines. Definitely could be that. Family and home life could be that. Children or even like inner child wounds could be surfacing for you. But there's definitely something around like, what are you sabotaging and what are you what are you willing to let go of or release? as this full moon's going to reveal something around self-sabotage, something around a karmic cycle ending, something around, in these areas of your home life, children, inner child work, and routines. And so, as you move through this, I definitely would invite you to take some journaling time to process through whatever may be coming up for you around those areas. This is for Taurus for the Aries full moon. Gemini sun and Gemini rising. This is your forecast for the Aries full moon on September 29th, 2023. This is for Gemini sun and rising. All right, Gemini, Sun, and Rising. This full moon in Aries is happening in your 11th house of groups, communities, and technology. There is definitely focus around communication, especially in your home life or around your emotional well-being. Could be communicating your needs. Could be around, embracing your role in your home life. Definitely something around your home life or the role that you play and embracing the role that you play in your home life situation. Definitely could be, like I said, could be communication around feelings or emotions, or emotional well-being. Maybe it's, communicating what you need to feel supported in the role that you now play in your home life situation. So definitely some things to sort through for Geminis there in the 11th house during this full moon in Aries. So that's for Gemini. Cancer, Sun, and Rising. This is your forecast for the Aries full moon on September 29th, 2023. All right, Cancer, this full moon in Aries is happening in your 10th house of work and public achievement. But there could be something coming up around your self-worth, and your value and your finances around your work, and around your home life situation. Perhaps it's how you invest your time and money in your home life, or creating a work home life balance, or creating communication in relationships, relationships at work, and at home, and creating a balance between work and home life situations or communications. So lots of things to think about for Cancer. Definitely seeing something or feeling something around that self-worth and value in Cancer, really seeing or in a new way acknowledging their value and their worth in the workplace or in the home as well. So definitely some things there for Cancers to sort through, as this full moon will be revealing something around that work home life balance. This is for Cancer for the full moon on September 29th. Leo, Sun, and Rising. This is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Leo, Sun, and Rising. This full moon in Aries is occurring in your 9th house, which is expanding and broadening your horizons, your education, your philosophies. I feel like there is, with Venus there in your first house, it's definitely potentially something around how you show up, or showing up in a way that expresses or displays that you are continuing to broaden and expand yourself, broaden and expand your value, your worth, broaden and expand your education or your philosophy. Somehow it's showing or demonstrating that you are continuing to grow your education, grow your profession, grow yourself as a presenter or as a teacher or as a philosopher, or definitely, or it doesn't have to be philosophy particularly, but it's definitely something where your value, your self value, your self worth is sort of needing you to expand yourself somehow, some way, grow, whether it's like education, maybe it's you need to go back to school, maybe you need to take some continuing ed classes, however that's showing up for you, but it's definitely something you needing to sort of prove to yourself that you can continue to expand and grow, for yourself, for your own worth and value. This is for Leo, Sun and Rising, for the full moon in Aries on September 29th. All right, Virgo, Sun and Rising. This is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Virgo, Sun and Rising. This full moon in Aries is happening in your 8th house, which is a transformation. It's also mergings, financial and intimate mergings. However, I'm really feeling like this full moon is really looking at you finding your spiritual guidance system. So we just experienced a lot of energy through Virgo. So you may already be like having realizations or insights around the fact of your physical body sending you messages, your physical body being your guiding light, as you will, if you will, around your spirituality and really finding your spirituality. And 8th house is a lot to do with spirituality and really connecting in, trusting yourself, trusting that you are co-creating this reality with a higher power, with universe, God, spirit, however you source, however you define that. But really looking within yourself to see the connection that you have with your body, with your physical body, your energetic self, connected to source, connected to spirit, tuning into your body and what your body is telling you, whether it's through your digestive system, your nervous system, those sorts of things, and really having that inner dialogue or communication to learn how to potentially trust your gut responses to circumstances that arise. So I really feel like this is a very deep one for Virgos, for Virgo Sun and Rising. So definitely take some time to feel your physical body processes and what messages are they sending, or at least what is the feeling that you feel in your body, and write that down, and then maybe do research around what those spiritual messages could be for you. So this is for Virgo, Sun and Rising for the full moon in Aries on September 29th. All right, Libra, Sun and Rising. This is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Libra, Sun and Rising. This full moon in Aries is happening in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and balance. This could be potential breakups, could potentially breaking free, could be new partnerships, new relationships. Definitely also could be with Libra. It could be some self-centeredness, like you're just kind of done with everybody and you just want to have a good relationship with yourself. And developing that good relationship with yourself, learning yourself. Maybe you've been through some stuff and you really need to kind of learn you and how you now needs to operate in the day-to-day world in order to grow into the aligned group that you belong to. This may require some changes, and it may require you to be a bit self-centered in order to process through the changes, and you could be resisting the changes that you need to make, right? Like, so there's that. We always have resistance around the things that we need to change, but definitely potential breakups, break frees, new partnerships, new relationships, like just all over the map here. But this is around, of course, relationships and balance for you in Aries. However, because it's Aries, that's where I'm feeling like that self-centeredness piece, excuse me, is because Aries is independent. And so you may be feeling the urge to be independent, to be on your own, to really focus on yourself. And so, working through some shit you had bottled up for a bit. And so, yeah, definitely a lot coming up for Libra around this full moon in Aries on September 29th. Scorpio, Sun and Rising. This is your forecast for the new full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Scorpio, Sun and Rising. This full moon in Aries is happening in your sixth house, which is daily routines, health habits, work habits, etc. Could be some unexpected shifts around your interest in shifting your routine to be very intentional with tuning into your body, with just checking in, very intentional, maybe with your spiritual practices. Kind of mentioned that for Virgo too, is like, there could be some just very on purpose, very intentional tuning into your physical body symptoms and the messages that they are, and trusting them, trusting the guidance that you receive, through your body. I mentioned that in one of the earlier slides too, is like your body is constantly sending you messages. And so it's really about us tuning into and hearing and responding accordingly to those messages. So Scorpio, I really feel like this could be around trusting when your body sends you a message, and maybe even learning various interpretations of those messages, and knowing then how to respond and react when those body reactions or body responses, messages do show up, and trusting the messages that you receive and acting accordingly. This is for Scorpio, Sun and Rising for the full moon in Aries on September 29th. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. This is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. This full moon is happening in your fifth house, which is heart-centeredness, playfulness, inner child wounds, or just childlike joy. And so it could be that. It could be following your heart, really getting in tune with your heart-centered self, and then following that, which could lead to abrupt changes, an abrupt move abroad, an abrupt social media change. Perhaps your role in a social media group is changing, or even your role in an online group of whatever type. It doesn't have to be social media, but definitely it's time for a Sag to be heart-centered, to follow their heart, to find some joy, to maybe tune into that childlike playfulness, and see what really, I mean, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is jolly. It can be joyful. It can be playful. It can be fun. And so the Sagittarius is a fire sign. You like to have fun. And this fifth house full moon, combined with other planets that are involved, it's really about you just being your flamey, fiery, fun self. There you go. How was that for your triple F's or something? Anyway, I really feel like Sag it's breaking. You're breaking free. You're breaking free. You're finding your heart. You're reconnecting to your heart. You're reconnecting to yourself and the things that make you happy. And you are going to potentially make some very abrupt choices to enhance your happiness, and move forward in that direction. So this is for Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, for the full moon in Aries. Capricorn, Sun and Rising, this is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. All right, Capricorn, Sun and Rising, this full moon in Aries is happening in your fourth house of home life, emotional intelligence, emotional well-being, maternal things. There could be some unexpected changes in your home life situation. Could be you making the unexpected changes in the home life situation in order to promote your emotional well-being. Perhaps to start a healing journey, perhaps to enhance your healing journey, but definitely, something around your home life situation, healing, broadening, expanding your healing journey. Just, yeah, I don't have really much more to say. There could be something about someone else in your home life. Maybe your mom is going through something, or you as a mom is going through some healing work, and so adjusting your routine with your children, or your spouse around, or your partner around, you taking on your healing journey. Could be that your mom is taking on a healing journey. It could be you're healing a mother wound, a maternal wound. So any number of aspects here, but definitely something unexpected in your home life is going to change in order for healing to occur. This is for Capricorn, Sun and Rising, for the Aries full moon. Aquarius, Sun and Rising, this is your forecast for the Aries full moon on September 29th, 2023. All right, Aquarius, Sun and Rising. We need you to be Aquarius. This is Aquariuses. This full moon is happening in your third house of communication. And honestly, this is you sort of opening yourself up to show your worth, show your value. Like we know Aquariuses are unique as hell, and we need Aquarians to be unique as hell. That's what makes this world go round, is these Aquarius, weird, unique humans that we have. But this is sort of around you communicating just, your authentic self in order to have the right partnerships, relationships that do support and allow you to be your full authentic self. And so some unexpected changes in your way of communication or your relationships could occur simply based on you saying what is true of you or what's authentic of you, and that creating a shift in your relationships. And so that's what I'm feeling for Aquarius for this full moon in Aries. Hello, Pisces. This is your forecast for the full moon in Aries on September 29th, 2023. This is for Pisces, Sun, and Rising. All right, Pisces, Sun, and Rising. This full moon is happening in your second house of self-worth, value, and finances. And so it could be things coming up around your routine, around your self-worth, like creating space and time for you to tune into yourself, to value yourself, to create partnerships or mergings with those who do value you. Changes in your way of communicating with yourself. Changes in just how you value who you are and how you work with group settings based on understanding and acknowledging your own value and your own worth. And maybe even creating routines so you can take the time to be with who you really are and really honor the person that you're here to be. So some unexpected potential shifts in routines, in creating space for yourself, creating time for yourself, and they're then bringing that energy, that self-worth, that value back to the social groups that you are involved in. So that's what I have for Pisces for the full moon in Aries. All right, that's what I got for this full moon in Aries with the personal planets aspecting Uranus. I'm definitely feeling Uranus in my own world. So thanks for your patience as I continue to, grow, expand, and stay as consistent as I can, with creating content and putting videos out here. And I love doing it. It's just not like when I would like to get them. I would love to have them all up and published way before they need to be, but that doesn't always happen. Anyway, you can please check out the links below in the description box. And then, of course, please like and comment. I really would appreciate more comments and feedback. So if you can take the time even to just drop a heart or even just drop a thank you, that would be fantastic. It not only helps the algorithm, but it helps me. And I appreciate you being here and being a part of my YouTube. So thanks for joining me for this full moon in Aries, and I will see you for the solar eclipse in Libra in early October. So have a great one, and I'll talk to you next time. Love you.